Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to be going through my client who was able to make $10,000 in a single night just by using the systems that we implemented into his business. Now his trading mentorship was only doing about 2K per month and we were able to scale that to 10K in one single night. So I hope this video provides you with some value that you can take away and implement into your own trading business when starting out. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. All right, let's get straight into it. So the cash collected, now it does say 7.2, but that is not actually the revenue generated. Someone had to pay on finance, but that's all good. 10K in one single night. So how do we get to this point? So my client had a situation and had a couple bottlenecks in his business that was stopping him from scaling further than 2K in a single month. Now, first one was taking sales calls manually. He is a trader. He's not a sales rep, and he shouldn't be taking those sales calls as much as, the conversion is much higher when a coach jumps on a call. If you're not good at sales calls, it doesn't actually affect or change that metric at all. Another thing was targeting a broad audience without creating pain. So his ICP and the people that he wanted to target weren't actually being reached at all. He was just targeting the trading niche, and there was no real motive behind his content and creating it so that he speaks to that audience that he really wants. Now, yet again, there was no CTA or nurture sequence. So in his bio, it was a link to his YouTube, but there was no specific YouTube video that, either showcased a testimonial or was, a story of his. It was literally just a CTA to his YouTube where people can go from there and check his videos out. So there wasn't really much nurture sequence or, idea behind it. And last one was too much educational, valuable content. Like, yes, he was targeting a broad audience, but there was no real story or connection to him or personality to him. It was more just value and education. So his biggest month in business and in his trading mentorship was a 2K month on his one-on-one mentorship. And I hope he's okay with me laughing at all these metrics, but we changed it. So you can't really get mad at that. So we had one client paying 2K and paying in full. So yeah, not the best metrics you can have. Now, I jumped on a call with him and made him aware of these problems because it's so crucial that not only do you change things, but you're aware of it. And that's what I think a lot of done-for-you agencies don't do in this space, is they don't showcase what's actually going wrong and making them aware of it so that that problem never happens again. So how do we actually get to him 10K in one single night? Now, stage one was onboarding. So what I wanted to look for in the beginning was, DM tracking, sales tracking, YouTube analytics, and CRM. He had zero metrics tracked or anything like that. Of course, he had his YouTube analytics, but he did nothing with that data. And what's the point of doing nothing with that data? You really want to optimize and use that data to scale. So yeah, he had zero tracking of any metrics in his business whatsoever, which led to him only having 2K per month. Now, there's 3 documents that we targeted with his audience and stuff like that. So ideal ICP. Who is his ideal client based on their emotions and their identity? Now, he wants to be working with these ideal clients. Like, who does he want to wake up every day and help? And what do they look like to him? Because it's so important, because that's how we can, cater his content and his systems and his outreach to match that ICP that he wants to target. Now, in the beginning, you might hear that you have to, stay quite broad and attract anyone into your business that's interested, because, you're just trying to get traction. But it's, in a way, that is not the best advice, because you want to target a certain niche of people. Now, yet again, the second one is a target market. So who's his clients and what is their main problem? So based on the ideal ICP and who he wants to target, now it's into the target market and what their main problems are. What are their pain? What is the dream that they currently want but are faced with this pain that they can't seem to get rid of? And so that's target market. I'm going to understand their pain and stuff like that. Last is offer creation. Once we understand their pain and once we understand who he wants to work with, we have to build an offer for these people. So how to build an irresistible offer. So offer deliverables. So once we have the offer creation and what we want and, this backbone to our company and to his mentorship, in order to get people to purchase, we also have to come up with the pricing too. So currently what he was doing wrong with his mentorship, he was giving too much too much time and value was given by the mentor, which for a 2K price, he was doing a lot and it was quite valuable, but at the same time, he was draining a lot of his energy and time into, delivering for this client. The pricing was piffed 5 out of 5 times in his lifetime of clients, and there was no upscale of price. So he, before this, had 5 clients and all of them piffed, which is a good sign that, the market's there, but at the same time, there was no upscale of the price when you see that people piff. And that's a really good idea that you should do is finance once you know that, most of your clients are paying in full. Now, last is there was no ending clause or agreement. So there was no, hey, after 3 months we stop working with you. And it can be quite, annoying when you have a lot of clients in the end and you have to fulfill all of them, and your clients don't have to, there's no retainer, there's no nothing, they get it for their lifetime. And that really sucks if you're a coach, because you're going to have to deal with like 10 to 15 clients at once when you get traction and obviously build. So now, what was the good things about his offer? So the value he was given can be priced at a higher ticket. So the 2K can then be converted to 5K. And that's what we did with a financing option here. Now, he also was piffing clients, meaning higher buying power in his audience. So if people are piffing and paying in full, it's a good sign that, the audience is there and they have the buying power to purchase. Now, if they're not paying in full and it's a low ticket or the price isn't that high, that's a good sign that your audience is either immature or doesn't have the buying power because of countries, language, all this stuff. So we upscaled him from 2K to 5K, and with the option of financing for those clients. So if they're paying in full, we can then use finance. So what was the content strategy for this mentor to get these results? Now, 80% of cold traffic was coming from Instagram, which is a good idea because it's one of those platforms where you can post a lot of volume, and then most of your audience can come from that in the cold traffic, which you then can nurture. So what we did was we're doing two reels per day of raw talking head videos. So I don't know if you've ever seen these styles. Basically, title up the top, face in the between. That's your personal brand, but you really want to get that hook title and the topic around that. Now, for our clients, we had 2 notions. One was the content pillars of getting ideas. So you don't want to post at random. You want to have ideas and it be in different categories and different pillars of the content. So your value-based content, your authenticity-based content, your lifestyle content, just all these pillars that create a brand and not make it so robotic sort of thing. Now, another notion we had was content background music. It always helps to have that. It kind of just eases the flow a bit and also grabs attention too. Sorry for interrupting this video. I basically just wanted to come on here and pitch you on a little offer I have. Now, I run a done for you agency that helps trading mentors scale from 2x, 3x, 4x their current revenue they're doing right now through done for you systems and applications that you can put into your business overnight and hit those results that you currently want. Just like my client I'm showing you in this video. Now, if this is something that you're interested in and want to learn more about this offer and how I could do it for you, then there'll be a link in the description. It's a Calendly link. You don't have to click it. You can keep watching this video and get free source. But if there's something that you're serious about and want to learn more, then click the link and book a call. Without further ado, let's get straight back into the video, and there's some complete source in it. So the goal is to create volume with these Instagram reels, because the idea is we want to get them into the link in bio of the trading mentor. So that's what we did. We had their link in the bio to a free Discord community. Now, the reason you don't do it straight to a high ticket is we want to be able to nurture them. We're in a hard time where everyone doesn't believe, not believe, but trust in our abilities. And so it's really important that you give them free value before you then sell them on something, because people aren't going to buy your high ticket mentorship straight off the bat. They need more convincing. So the free community is given, and then in order to unlock that free community, they need their email, phone number, and name submitted. And that's basically just an opt-in. So what we do is then from there, we send an email for the Discord link that they can get. And then on top of that, and this is a crucial part of this whole process, is we send them a reply bait message. So this is a cool strategy that I've learned over the time, is with their phone number, you message them and go, yo, saw you got sent access to the Discord. It's been hella fucked up at the moment. Did you get it? Now, this is an automated message, but it looks so unique, and not unique, but more so just personable. What automated message is going to write that? So they're obviously going to respond to it. And that's what we want. So they reply, and that's confirmation to start a conversation to them. And the goal is to create pain within their current situation. Understand where they are now and where they want to be and their dream outcome. Because yet again, we can then use that in the sales calls and even in the appointment setting call to, get them to jump on call and also to close. So questions that you might ask: what made you join the Discord community? What's the biggest problem you're facing right now with your trading? Markets have been crazy recently. Have you managed to be profitable? I spelled that wrong, but okay. And that's important to understand. You ask these questions because you don't want to push it as a salesy way. You want to be able to make it look like you're a mentor, you understand the markets, but you're concerned about what their problems are. You really want them to speak out about it. And that causes pain in their mind. You're not creating that pain through, saying something. You want to, kind of let them think and really relive their current situation, and that pain just amounts, and for them to eventually just purchase from you. So what you do is you CTA that. So once you ask a certain amount of questions and you feel like they've been nurtured enough, what we then did for our client was you send them either an invite link or an appointment setter dials them up. So I put the calendar link there, but for this guy and for my client, we did an appointment setter. And then sales. So my client's issue was he was closing deals himself. Now, the good things about it was there was more informed on the topic than the sales reps. He leverages personal connection to make sales, only works if they are good at sales. So that's the issue with him. If he closes himself, he's more informed on the topic, but at the same time, he can leverage his personal connection to obviously sell them. But there's a couple issues. Traders usually aren't good at sales, like I've spoke about earlier, compared to an experienced closer. And so that difference doesn't really make sense, and time consuming when you can be diverted to collecting more leads through content. So in the beginning, you just want to be pumping out as much content as possible. So value, and you want to be making sure that your time is into content and fulfillment. Then it's hiring a closer. So it works entirely on commission. And this is the same for setters. I didn't put setters in here, but it works for setters too. And in return, incentivizes closers to put in the work. So you're not paying a single dollar up front, but you're making sure that they're incentivized to close deals and they're not just lazy like that. So we send them the client's offer, and with the client's offer, so my client's offer, we then were able to create sales tracking SOP. So basically, tracking performance of our appointment setters and our closers so that they can always, you see the data and you showcase who's performing well and who's not. And then sales scripts. So they're targeted to induce pain in the ICP and build towards a specific offer. Once you create a good sales script, it is so key because you can give that to your closers and they understand, what pain points you want to target depending on your ICP that you have created. So now that you know the process, how do we actually make him 10K while sleeping? And this is absolutely insane. So we created the lead magnet page. So that free Discord community, we created the lead magnets for Lovable, and we asked them on Typeform to fill out, their name, phone number, and email. And from there, on the lead magnet page, we had title, subtitle. These just basically are trying to create pain in the buyer, and this is a really good way to, get them to even just opt into the free lead magnet. That's all we're doing in this page, just trying to get them to opt in with their phone number, email, and all that stuff. And that allows us to then contact them. So branding, keep it consistent, fonts, logos, personal or client testimonials, or Discord community testimonials. It's always good to have because it's another reason why they should purchase. Now 2, and this is some sauce. So once you have that page set up, I want you to then, and this is what we did for my client, is outreach to the audience. So we downloaded, this Chrome extension called GrowMan, and basically what that allowed us to do was, scrape our leads. So we inputted his username basically, and then extracted all his followers that he currently had. Because anyone that's a follower, no matter who they are probably interested in trading. And there's probably a few that are family related or friend related, but most of them are probably going to be your ICP because they're following you and they have a connection with you. So from them, we then send a DM bot to reach out manually to all these leads that we've collected through your followers. And we're going to DM about 5 times per hour because anything over that, Instagram likes to flag it. But if you do it, anything under that, it's sweet, and you can send the same message 5 times. So every hour we send 5 DMs to our followers, and that basically then we nurture them. We DM and nurture and qualify followers and send them a free Discord lead magnet, which is join my community and we can talk more and get you into trading. So then 3, the most important part about this all. So from there, the setter messaged the leads as the mentor. So the mentor did not actually message anyone. We actually got our appointment setters onto the deal, and they had a conversation to create pain. So we give them all the scripts and SOPs required to do this. But basically, a setter reaches out to them and says, you have some pain, and we want to, this is all through messages. And Just basically creates pain and also sells the dream outcome. Then what we're going to do, the setter will dial them with a number, and using the free lead magnet opt-in. So we have the data of these people, and then we can then use that to dial them and, get them to book an appointment. So once they book into a one-on-one and sets up as a trading strategy call to entice them. So you don't frame it as anything else. You don't frame it as a discovery call. You don't frame it as a sales call. You frame it as a trading strategy call, and then the closer jumps on the call and they sell the deal. So after that's all done, the closer jumps on the call and closes the deal. And it's that simple, guys. That was how we were able, it's not complex at all. And that was how we were able to get my client to make 10K in one night while sleeping. Yeah, that's it, boys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do more of these breakdown videos and you want any questions answered, message me in the comments, or go into the comments and I'll reply to your messages. And thanks, boys.